So I'm Dr. Seema Rao. I'm India's first and only woman commando trainer. I've been christened by the press with this name. Well, it is true. I have this unusual vocation of training commandos of the Indian Forces. So today I'm going to speak to you about my life, about the obstacles or rather the barriers that I had to go through, and about the philosophy and the attitude that I have followed, which has brought me to the place where I stand today. So I'll first start with talking about my childhood days. My father was a freedom fighter, and he often narrated stories about the freedom struggle to me, and as a child I would get very impressed with his stories. There was one particular story which I liked, which was about how he escaped from jail along with his fellow inmate, swam across the Mandavi river, moved to safety, and then continued with the participation in the freedom struggle. So there were many stories like that which impressed upon me my child's mind, and I thought that if life gave me an opportunity, I too should do something and contribute to the country. So that is where it all started. As a child in school, I was bullied, pushed around, and I always wanted to change this equation from weakness to strength. I was a studious girl, so I grew up, went to college. Then I met this young, hot-blooded medical student. Well, we met, and Cupid played his game, so we fell in love. We got married. Now he was also into martial art. I would often see people, go up to him. He was very strong. He is very strong. They would go up to him and talk about his strength, and there was a certain sense of power about him. So I always thought that I should have the same. So I began to learn martial art from him because I wanted to change that equation of being from weak to getting strong. I had studied under him for some time, for about a year. When one day we were returning back from the beach, early morning we used to go and do some training on the beach. We lived close to the beach. So we trained there and then come back home and then continue with college, etc. So while we were training, there were a group of street urchins, rat pickers, about 3 of them, who were passing by. So as we were training, they passed some lewd remarks and made some demeaning statements. So we heard those. But we didn't want to stop our training, so we continued our training. On the way back, when we were walking back, they were standing there at a distance. So suddenly my husband said, "Okay, it's your fight." And he just vanished. I knew I had to go past them. I thought, let me just finish with this, get over with this, walk past very quickly, and that's it. My heart was thudding, I was trembling, I was very afraid. So I walked quickly. I was standing here on to one side. Suddenly, one of the guys came and stood in front of me. So I moved this side, he moves again here, I moved that side, he moved again in front of me. I was looking down, I was very afraid. Suddenly I looked up. He had this grin on his face, this underestimating grin on his face. I don't know what came over me. I just lifted my hand and slapped him. With the slap, he just reeled back and he came rushing at me. As he rushed towards me, I just lifted my knee up and he got a hard shot on his head. Meanwhile, the guy from the right side opened up his knife and came slashing at me. Thanks for my reflexes, I just moved out and the knife just moved past. Very soon there were some people who gathered there and they got the better of them. So this is what happened, and this is what changed the equation from weakness to strength. For the first time in my life, I realized now instead of being controlled, I'm the one who is actually in control. Once again, we would go to the beach. It was a very good place. We would always go there, watch the sea, etc. So one day we were standing there, and there is this place where it's at a height of 15 feet or so. So while we were standing appreciating the waves, my husband's wallet just slipped out and landed on the sand below. He jumped down and he picked up his wallet. He was doing something. I looked at him and he was down there. He said, "Come down, something is beautiful here." I looked down and I said, "I can't do this. If I jump, I'm going to break my bones." So my mind, there were two opposites in my mind. One said, "Just jump, nothing's going to happen. If he could do it, why can't you?" The other part of my mind said, "No, you know what, don't do it. You're going to jump, you'll break your knee, your hip, your ankle, etc." I looked down, I just blanked my mind. I jumped. It was years later that I actually got the opportunity to earn my wings when I jumped from a height of 10,000 feet out and leaped out into the skies, and I earned my wings. So what I want to say is that you have to take that first step, that first leap, otherwise nothing happens. Shooting the apple of my eye. We were a chance meeting with a senior police official. What happened is he asked us to give some demonstrations in unarmed combat. So we did that. We were also members of a local sports club, so we were good shots. We could shoot well. I could shoot well. So he invited us over to his unit, and I gave a demonstration. People loved it. Very soon, different units called us over, and that's from demonstrations it actually went on to train the force. One day, we were sitting on the firing range. The training was over. It was a hot summer afternoon. We were just relaxing, and there was a bowl of apples, so we were eating those apples and just talking. Suddenly my husband said, he picked up an apple, he placed it on his head, and he said, "Come on, shoot." So I said, "You're kidding, I know. Don't kid." So he said, "No, I'm not kidding. You're a shooting instructor. Why are you hesitating so much? Just pick up the rifle, shoot." I picked up the weapon. My hands were trembling. I looked through both the sights. I stabilized my trembling hands, pulled the trigger. When I did that, the apple just splintered into a million pieces. Then I got confident. I said, "Take the apple, one more apple, place it on your head." And this time, with one swift movement, I just pulled the trigger, and there the apple went. And that was the origins of the reflex shooting method which we developed. There's a video that will play now. Okay, open your mind. I started my journey first with Taekwondo. I got my black belt in that. And then later on I was not too satisfied, so I learned boxing, I learned grappling, that's wrestling. But none of this really satisfied me. I was looking for more. So I went onto the internet and I found this teacher who was teaching Bruce Lee's art of Jeet Kune Do. It's an art and philosophy, it's called Jeet Kune Do. So I got very interested in that. So I wrote to him, and whenever he would come to countries nearby, I would go and I would learn from him. One day he called me and aside and he said, "Look, Seema, you have spent a lot of time and I need to give you intensive training for some more time, and then I'm going to grade you as an instructor. I'm going to qualify you." So I was very excited about the whole thing. So I said, "Okay." So he said, "You got to come to my country." I said, "Fine." So I collected my money, I got my papers ready, and I went for the visa interview. The officer at the counter saw all my papers, everything was fine. Then he looked at me and said, "Okay, lady, give me 5 reasons why you won't leave your country and come and settle in mine." That may be part of his protocols, but my patriotic feelings were hurt. So I looked at him and I said, "You give me one reason why I should leave my country and come and settle in yours." Well, obviously, my visa was denied. But I didn't lose hope. I wrote to my teacher, I said, "Look, this is what has happened." He was very unhappy, he was very apologetic about the whole process. He said, "Don't worry, I will come to your country." He came down here, spent a few weeks training me, and today I am the senior most female instructor and the highest ranking one in the whole world in Bruce Lee's Art of Jeet Kune Do. I started by training the forces in unarmed combat, then later on went to armed combat, then went on to team-on-team tactics, and finally with tactical simulation exercises. In the sense, I didn't stagnate with whatever I was doing. I decided I have to upgrade, and I kept upgrading. I didn't stick on at the same level, kept going higher and higher. My rendezvous with camouflage started first with training the police force, then it was the armed police, it was the state police, after which I went on to the paramilitary, then it was the army, navy, the air force, the NSG, and then it was the special forces, and finally the quick response teams of different states. So it's always the me you think is the me you will be. Express yourself to the world. My husband and I wrote a very good book. It's an encyclopedia, it's a training manual. And we expressed our radical ideas of training in that book. I approached the forces, the headquarters, gave the book. And I was wondering whether the book would be accepted or not. I was a little afraid because it was taking some time, but of course it got accepted. I sent the same book to the FBI, the Interpol and SWAT libraries all over the world. My book was received very well, and it has found a proud place in the libraries of the world forces all over. Reality shooting to real shooting. A leading filmmaker in Bombay approached me and said he wanted to make a movie on Bruce Lee's Art of Jeet Kune Do. I was happy. I said, okay, why not? So we had a few sittings together, and somehow the conditions he had and the conditions I had didn't match. So we split ways. Then I sat back and decided, why not I make the movie myself? Of course, I didn't know anything about movie making, so I decided to learn the ropes. I did the story, the dialogues, the cinematography, the music, the sound, and of course there was a small team of about 2-3 people with me who did the editing, the DI, etc. It's a woman empowerment movie based on the Mahabharata. I sent it for the Dadasaheb Phalke Film Festival, and it got the Jury Appreciation Award. And my film is very soon going to be released as soon as I find a distributor. So you need to stretch your abilities. If you stick to one thing, nothing's going to happen. If you think you can't do something, well just think, maybe you can. Down but not out. I've had many injuries in the past 20 years. Once I had a fall on my head, and there was complete loss of memory, amnesia. I couldn't remember anything. That took about 5 weeks and I recovered eventually. Then I had a back injury and I broke my vertebrae. That took about 5 months for me to recover. At that time I gave it a serious thought. I wondered, do I want to go ahead with this or should I stop? But every time the answer was very clear. No, if there's anything I will do, it's going to be this. So I believe in the fighter philosophy, which says you can go down, but not out. So no matter how many times you fall down, stand up there, decide you're going to go ahead once more, one more round. Sacrifices. Because of the physical demands of the job that I do, I could not have my own biological child, so I decided I'll adopt a child. And I decided to adopt a girl child because I in no way believe that a girl, is in any way the weaker sex. I was on assignment in Kolkata for Kolkata Police when I heard about my father's death. There were just about 2-3 days left for the training. And I was wondering, should I go back, leave the training? What do I do? Eventually I decided to not go back and continued with the training. But I know that had my father been alive, he too would have expected the same thing from me. He too would have said, go ahead child, just do your job for the country, let the rest just be. And at the end of all this, I have this poem which I'm going to read out to you, which is very inspiring. When all hope is lost, refuse to be cast down. For just one more round, bash on regardless. Believe in the impossible, believe in a way out. Get used to seeing light in the darkness. When all hope ends, let your battle begin there. Bash on regardless. Life is full of hurt and suffering. Don't let it deter you. Walk on to conquer new peaks. Bash on regardless. So what I want to say in the end, the message I want to give you is simply this, that stretch your abilities. Think out of the box. Think of radical ideas. Don't think traditional. Think unconventional, untraditional. And if you're down, don't stay down. Stand up and say, I'm going to fight again. No matter what barriers come in your path, understand that you've got to go through them or around them, but you have to reach your goal anyhow. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.